Okay, so this is just a quick review of our last class where we discussed kind of an introduction to web scraping using the example of an article containing 50 interesting facts about Kanye West. We discussed a little bit about the idea of what HTML is and how HTML tags work and tags within tags, etc. Because we use these tags to locate certain elements of the page that we're interested in. So remember, the task was that we wanted to scrape each of the 50 interesting facts about Kanye and put them in a table and save that table of facts. So to do so, we're going to use both Requests and BeautifulSoup to access this information. To begin, we just put the URL of the page we're interested in scraping in the request.get function. And now remember, this thing K has different attributes, including the text attribute. So if we look at just the first 400 elements of text, we see these we see all the HTML characters, etc. So next thing to do is to turn it into a BeautifulSoup object, and then what we can do is we can use the BeautifulSoup functions to parse and hone in on certain elements of the web page that we want. So first we pass the text of the object into the BeautifulSoup function to create this variable called soup that we can then apply all of the BeautifulSoup methods to. Remember in class that this is how the web page used to look. It had distinct tags within the paragraphs about the facts, but it actually has changed, and there's no longer these dir attributes. Instead, we just go ahead and find it was just the paragraphs. So to begin, we found all of the paragraphs, and when we looked at the length of that, we saw it was 89 and not 50 like we expected. So this is just a list object now. These, after the results of this this find all, are a list of 89 elements. To look at the first element, we use 0. And that's not what we wanted. So the first text, this is not one of the facts that we were interested in, but we noticed that if we look at the third element of the list, starting from there and going to the 53rd, we in fact can hone in on the 50 facts that we're looking for. All we have to do is go ahead and grab the text from each of those. So for example, like the second, right, this is the first, actually this is the thing on the page before the first fact, so we actually want the third through the 53rd. You can see that Kanye West is a great, if we look at the web page itself, that was one of the, let's see, we'll just go to the web page. So that's before, that line was right before the first fact. So we actually wanted the third element on that page, and now we have everything that we want. So the next thing to do is to create a table of the facts. So I'm just going to loop through these guys and extract the text for each of them and append it to a list. So table, I just create an empty list called table, and then I say for I in facts for each of the things in this list, go ahead and grab the text of it and pop it onto my table, my empty table. If I do that, I see now I have 50, and if I look at the first 5, there are the first 5 facts about Kanye. I can easily turn this into a data frame using the pandas data frame method, and I just want to create a data frame from this list, the table, and I'll give the column title of interesting facts. And now if I look at the first 5 rows, I see that I have a data frame containing the list of information. We can save this as a CSV, and coding, sorry, and then I can just read that back in and look again, and sure enough, there's my data. So just a quick review of a simple web scrape. Remember, I asked you to now go and find your own web page to scrape and structure the information in a data frame. Feel free to look at the Beautiful Soup documentation. There's a lot of nice examples in there as well.